Yes, sir! Look at the guns! What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Eazy, a.k.a. Fresh from the Barbershop, BK the People's Champ, coming to you live with another video, man. Check it out. Lot to get to, little time to get to it. Money on the flow. Let's get straight to it, baby. It looks like you guys like the shorter videos, so we're going to go with the shorter videos. Spurs re-signed Rudy Gay. There's no surprise there. We knew that they were going to re-sign Rudy Gay. We knew that with Kawhi's future being in jeopardy, you have to go ahead and lock up whomever you can lock up. So they went ahead and locked up Rudy Gay. No terms, no conditions, no compensation, nothing. They don't release those things. And when it becomes public knowledge, public record, a matter of public record, then we'll be able to know. But just know for right now, Rudy Gay has re-signed with the Spurs. On to the next story. History says that Demarcus Cousins will return November the 17th. Now, this information is purely speculation, but it's coming from the Twitter of Tom Haversaw, and a video has been put together. More or less, they've looked at the numbers, looked at the previous 19 versions of the Achilles injury, and more or less they looked at how long it takes for them to come back. And so with all of that information that he compiled and looked it up and did all of that, he worked the numbers more or less and came up with his number of the day, which is November the 17th. There's an excellent video on this, and I'll leave that link in the description. But this is what it is, and that's Tom Haversaw from ESPN. So you probably already follow him anyway. But what I'm thinking is that too early? Is that too late? It can never be too late. As long as he comes back and plays in the playoffs, it won't be too late. But I would say that November the 17th, that's around about the time. They were saying he won't play until December. But I'm thinking November 17th is around about the time where they were, that's around about December-ish or what have you. Would I come back then? Nope. I probably wouldn't come back till after the trade deadline. I will be completely honest with you. If I were Boogie Cousins, I would take all the time I needed. Right now, the Achilles is healed. You're not going to tear it again. You just may not be what you were. And so, like when I tore my ACL, they fixed the ACL. They told me you can go back out there and play ball right now if you wanted to once it heals. Obviously, 6-7 weeks once it heals and all of that good stuff, and it makes a good graft or what have you. I don't know that stuff, man. I work on computers. But anyway, once they fixed it, I was able to put on a knee brace about 6 or 7 weeks later, and I could go out there and play. I wasn't what I was, obviously, because I didn't have any strength in it. And that's the thing. That's what you really are worried about. Once you have the surgery, you have to regain the strength. And you regain the strength so you don't hurt yourself again. So you're using a whole new group of muscles. You'll be amazed how quickly your leg atrophies or the leg muscles atrophy. So not walking for a couple of days and having to use different muscles, it took a while. It probably took me about 6 to 7 months before I could take off on people again. But it's funny because you are vulnerable that entire time. You feel like you can't defend yourself. You feel like you can't do anything when you hurt something like that. I told my ACL, I felt like I couldn't do anything. And then I was playing basketball and I couldn't do a whole lot. And like that last week, it all came back and I was able to dunk on people and all of that good stuff. So when you get to that point where you're healed, it comes back fairly quickly. It just takes a very long time to get to that point. Like I said, he's already healed right now. But how long is it going to take to get all the strength back? That's the question. That's what takes the months and months to happen. Once they fix it, it's fixed. You'll break your leg before you tear it again. And so, I never had any issues. The thing is, Boogie doesn't have to work. He doesn't have to come back in any type of hurry. The Warriors are going to have the best record in the league, probably. And, he can wait till after the trade deadline. He can wait till April. He can wait till any time he wants to come back. I wouldn't push it. I would come back at my own leisure. And I would just see what I could do in a case like that. But I definitely wouldn't come back early. Do you think this is too early? You think that's too late? I think it's a little bit too early. But, hey, that's none of my business. However early he wants to come back. I think if the media plays it a certain way, like he's dogging the injury or he's milking it, I think he may be motivated to come back. But other than that, I think he's just going to come back at his own leisure, which is a smart thing to do. And I definitely would do that because he wants that max contract next year. He's not going to play for $5.5 million again. So we already know that. But anyway, on to the next story. Rockets, speaking of contracts, Clint Capela rejects Houston's $85 million offer. Now, Clint Capela is a restricted free agent, which means you can't sign with anybody else as long as your team is willing to match it. Case in point, Zach LaVine, Sacramento offered him $18 million a year for 4 years. He declined that and said, you know, if you give me 20, I think that the Bulls won't match it. They gave him 20 a year, signed the deal, and then what happens? The Bulls matched it. And so he must go back to the Bulls, and that's what happens when you're a restricted free agent. You can seek a better contract, and if somebody's willing to give you a better contract, you can take that. But 9 times out of 10, your team is going to match that, and then the next year you can become an unrestricted free agent or what have you. Or you just sign a contract with them, or he signed a 4-year contract, so the next time you're eligible for free agency, you should be an unrestricted free agent. And this is what's happening with Clint Capela. But the only issue is they offer him $85 million. He rejects that. Nobody else is going. There's not a whole lot of money left out there. Nobody else is going to offer him anything more than the $85 million is what I feel like. I just don't see that happening. So what's going to have to happen is he and the Rockets are going to have to figure something out. He's going to just have to say, hey, he wants $100 million, something like Steven Adams have. I don't know if he's the caliber player that Steven Adams is defensively, though. That's the thing. And the Rockets really don't have that money to give up. Maybe after they sign Melo or to whatever they're going to sign him to, maybe they'll be willing to give it up then. Maybe if they see the future or something like that. But I don't know if he's worth more than $85 million. You guys let me know down in the comments. Do you think he's worth that $100 million contract? I think the contract that they offered him is more in line with what he's worth. You're only about $15 million apart, so, I mean, do you want to lose an entire season for $15 million? I don't know. But it's not my money. And, hey, I always will side with the player. If you want the money, if you think you can go get the money, go get the money. Go get the money. Go get the money. Go get. That's what you got to do. If you think you can get it, you got to go get it, baby. And if somebody's willing to pay you, you gotta work for what you feel like you're worth. But anyway, on to the next piece of news. Speaking of LA, Charles Barkley says LeBron can't save LA alone. We already know this. I think anybody that plays basketball or watches basketball or anything, they already knew this. It's just pretty much Charles says he's not gonna win this. He's not gonna win next year. Stop it, dude. It depends on who they bring in. Magic has done a fantastic job. Him and Rob. LeBron is a great player, but they need to get better. And that's absolutely correct. A lot of people feel like if they bring in Kawhi, that'll be enough. I don't know if that's going to be enough if they bring in Kawhi now that they have Boogie. But like I said, if they bring in Kawhi, it'll be a big step in the right direction because you have people that can score the basketball, and you don't have to really work. Like I keep saying, Golden State Warriors are a really good team, but you're not going to score really score more than 111 points per night. It's not like Boogie's going to come in and now they're going to score 130. They're still going to score around that 100 or 11 or 100, maybe 115 now, but the points are going to come from somewhere else. So everybody's averages are going to go down. Draymond already averages about 10, and then the other guys, Clay is about 22. Steph is about 23 to 26, just depending. And then you got Kevin Durant that's around about 26 or so. And so then the rest of the points come from the bench and all that good stuff. Because JaVale probably scored, he probably had like, dang. So what's really going to happen is the points are just, everybody's still going to have their averages, but the points are just going to come from different directions or different places. And maybe Boogie doesn't even really play that much. You understand what I'm saying? So the point that I'm trying to make is, if you can hold them under that 111 mark down to, the 90s or something like that, or even 100 points, you stand a good chance to beat them. But just because you added a player to the team that averages like 20 points, it doesn't add 20 points to your actual average. That's not what's going to happen. So when I'm saying there's only so many basketballs on the court, I'm meaning it doesn't matter how many people you have that can score. Only one person can score at one time. You're still going to miss 60% of the time. That's a fact that's going to hold true. So if you can play defense and you can get up and down the court and try to score on maybe 50% of those 50% of the 60% misses, then you probably have a really good chance to beat them. But you're going to have to play defense, and that's going to be a tall order for any team just because of the fact that everybody on the floor can score, and only one person probably can't put it on the floor, and that's Draymond. And I don't know, man, but everybody can definitely pass. So if you step down, everybody's going to see single coverage, man. It's going to be tough, and you're going to have to play very disciplined, and you're going to have to commit to your game plan, and you can't abandon it as soon as it happens. But, hey, to have any type of chance, you're going to have to play defense, and if there is a saving grace, it's just the fact that there's only one basketball, and averages just don't work like that. But speaking of which, Steph Curry thinks that Golden State ruining the league. We just segue right in. It's the dumbest phrase ever, more or less. So we're just gonna paraphrase right here. I'm not gonna even read through all of this. He just says, "I love that phrase. This is the dumbest thing ever," said Curry, according to Sam. We're always trying to find a way to get better. If we were just happy to win the championships and staying stagnant, we wouldn't be doing it. We wouldn't be doing ourselves any justice. And I mean, you're not making the league worse by them having a super team. You're forcing the other GMs. This is how I've always felt. You're forcing the other GMs to examine what they're doing, and it really exposes those who are serious about winning and those who are just trying to put a product on the court and just have a team out there. That's what the New England Patriots do. That's what the 49ers in the 80s and the early 90s did. That's what the Cowboys did in the 90s. That's what the Steelers did in the 70s. Well, maybe not the Steelers in the 70s. Wasn't any real free agency or anything like that. But more or less what this is forcing teams to do, you know who's serious about winning right now. You know who actually has a chance to win. And then, more importantly, the people that aren't in the game to win or aren't having NBA franchises to try to win the championship, it's blatantly obvious who those teams are. But the one thing it is doing, it's forcing people to make moves that they otherwise may not make, because you have to do something if you want to win. If you don't want to win, that's fine. You get your team, get your 2 max contracts, spend 80% of the cap, and just sit over there with the in NBA mediocrity. Or you can do like the 76ers and have a 5-year plan on how you're going to get there. You just tank for 5 years, and then you can do. But whatever you're going to do, if you're not trying to get better, it's blatantly obvious. And if you're not going to win, you're just not going to win. So I definitely agree with this. Super teams have always been in the league, man. 38 years and only 11 franchises have won a championship. You telling me that is fair and it's spread around? No, it's never been that way. So I'm not mad at this. I understand. It's just like with the Bulls. People had to try to get better in order to beat the Bulls. People had to try to get better in order to beat the Lakers. People had to try to get better in order to beat the Pistons and the Celtics in the 80s. Like, you cannot try. You can't just be like, oh, we're just gonna sit here and be stagnant. So, I mean, I don't like how it's happening. I don't like how Boogie went over there and players are just outright deciding, okay, well, I'm just going to stay here, or I'm just going to go to the easiest team and make it be that way. I like it more when it's built organically, like the Warriors were at first. But hey, it is what it is, man. Everybody likes a winner. Everybody wants to be a winner. Nobody ever woke up saying, you know what? I want to go take the fattest L I can take today. Nobody ever done that. So it is what it is. Rumors: Karl Anthony Towns. Timberwolves in max contract extension talk. This is not a whole lot to be. This much to do about nothing really. He's in the last year of his contract. He wants a max contract. He's making about $7.8 million this next season. Well, the season coming up, and he wants an extension and he's seeking a max contract. If you're Minnesota, you're obviously going to do it. They're in max contract talks. They're going to give him a max contract. They just have to get the numbers. I'm pretty sure they just want to get everybody signed. You get all your free agents signed. You see who you can get this year. Get all your free agents. You see, check out the outlook for next year. Get all your rookies signed. You see what money that you have this year and next year. Make sure that you have some money to go after a big free agent next year, because there are going to be a lot of them. And then you go ahead and get him signed to a max contract. Karl Anthony Towns is the future of the franchise, and despite what Jimmy Butler says, he said, hey, they just don't work hard. They may not. It's a different generation, baby. But hey, he definitely deserves a max contract. One of the 2 best big men in the league. One of the best big men in the league. We got a lot of good big men in the league, but one of the best, definitely top 5. So, hey, you got to do what you got to do with that. And they have to sign him. They don't have a choice. But they'll get that worked out. And like I said, it's probably just going to be, let us sign free agents this year. Let us get the rookie signed. Let's look at the free agent outlook for next year. We'll get your contract done. No muss, no fuss. That's how I'll handle that. And last but not least, Adam Silver's personal view on the NBA is ready to allow players to enter the draft at 18. Now, we don't know if this is 18 or straight out of high school, but we're assuming that it's straight out of high school. The 18-year-old ladies living allow 18-year-olds to declare for the draft. What I'm looking at is this. The NBA, okay, so here we go. My personal view is that we're ready to make the change, Adam Silver said. Now, you might as well be ready to make a change because, let me see, I think something has to change. It's clearly not working out for the college game from our standpoint. If the players in that 1 year of college aren't getting the kind of development we like to see them coming into the NBA, aren't playing in the NCAA tournament, aren't competing against top-notch competition, I think we have to take a step back and figure out if we're better off taking those players at a young age and working on their training and development full time. That's something that I was saying about yesterday. Is it the big baller league kind of, the big baller league kind of getting a little market share or something like that? I really don't think so. I just think that this is something that we said always. The players that are going to go to college are going to go to college. The ones that are going to finish, they're going to finish. The ones that aren't, they aren't. The ones that aren't going to do it anyway. Some people go to college. I'm just going to college just to get some tape, and then I'm going overseas. They're fully aware that they're not going to the NBA, but they're fully aware that they're good enough to go overseas, and so that's what they do. And so what Adam Silver is saying is fine. If somebody goes to college, or if they come to the NBA, declare themselves eligible for the draft, and they don't make it, they just got to go overseas. If you were good enough to be declared eligible for the NBA draft and get an agent, you're clearly good enough to go overseas. And so, or play in the JBA. So, you got options. It's not a big deal. Kevin Durant had no business going to college. Players like that. Derrick Rose, when they go to college, he would have come in and been just fine. He would have struggled for a year. But I mean, that's going to be expected for a high school kid, especially one that's really playing point guard. I think there's certain positions that Brandon Jennings, you see, he went overseas for a year, and then he came back, and he's doing okay in the NBA. But his shortcomings aren't because he didn't go to school and in development, mostly because he's left-handed. He was able to get away with this stuff. But he's a good player. He's a solid player, so I'm not mad at any of that. And like I said, that's case in point. It's not like he was going back to school. He went overseas, came into the NBA, have a decent career, and then you go on and you live the rest of your life. He went back. I think he went back overseas too, and you come back. Whatever you got to do, that's what you're gonna do. But anyway, man, that ends it for us today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. More or less, all I'm saying is the players that are gonna come out, they're gonna come out anyway. You can't save people from themselves, no matter how hard you try. Nor is it the NBA's job to do that. We're out of here. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I tried to make it short as possible, but we had so much to cover in 17 minutes. The banter tonight, me and Brutal Sim, I think it's going to be 10 Eastern or 9:30 Eastern. Just keep looking for it. Look for the notification, and we're going to holler at y'all. Till next time. It's your boy, Eazy, a.k.a. Fresh from the Barbershop, BK the People's Champ. Holla! And you guys let me know. Do you think that players do you think the NBA should let players come in straight out of high school? I don't see how it's going to hurt anything. I don't see how trying to force somebody to do something makes them any better. You can't do that. They have to be willing to work. If they didn't work hard, if they're not going to work hard in college, they're not going to work hard in the NBA, and so they're not going to make it. But the ones that are going to make it are going to make it anyway because they work hard. That's what I'm trying to say. And I'm out.